nice yellow sheen across my car. You probably can't see it very well, but I can see it perfectly fine. And for many of you, you know what that means. Allergies, pollen, miserable sneezing all day. Well, looks like I need to go get some Claritin and possibly do something with my hair. Nah, I'm gonna hat on. So it was interesting. Last night I went to sleep, and I think I probably went to sleep around maybe 4 or 5. I got to one point I was like, I'm just not gonna go to sleep. But then it ended up going to sleep. I think I was asleep for maybe 3 or 4 hours, 8-ish, 9-ish. At least I think I was asleep. And then Jeremy comes in there getting ready to, because he's gonna play. And he's like, when did you get here? And he climbed up in bed with me. He's like, last night? He's like, I didn't know you were here. And it was so cute. And then, went in there, and Joey was having his therapy, and he saw me, and he was happy. And then I woke up Allison and immediately showed her violin, and she was happy. She already tried grabbing it and playing with it, which is, I guess, is fine, but we're gonna have to definitely get her some lessons started really soon, so she can learn to play. Because she wants to just grab that thing and saw on it. I don't know what you call the act of playing a guitar, but she wants to grab it and play it. And I like that idea. I like that fact. I gotta say, I really like going to the small music shops, where you got the guy in there who's been doing it for probably 20 years, knows what he's talking about. I went into one here in Denton, and I was telling him what I needed. He's like, well, he's kind of giving me the details, bone versus plastic, and it's best to get your own saddle and then compensate it yourself, which is cool. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my guitar up there and let him do it. If he's got one that'll fit, awesome. If not, it'll cost me like $40, and I'm not looking forward to the $40. But, it's whatever. Well, anyways, I am on my way now to my counselor. And, I've said this a million times. I would rather talk to a therapist and figure things out than have to deal with medication. I'd rather work, because, with something like an antidepressant, if you take it, as soon as you stop taking it, you're done. You're back to square one, which is really stupid if you think about it. It's really a short-term fix that you're doing for the long term, which to me is not a good thing. I would rather have, I'll preface it with this. There are some people who need medication because their shit's just all screwed up. But for the people who just have, we'll just say, the emotional need for this, you don't necessarily need the medication. Oh, that's cool. I'm driving by the new UNT stadium, and they've got windmills out. That's awesome. Denton, I love this town. I really do. I think they're one of the first biodiesel towns too. Most of their school buses and trash trucks run on biodiesel, if not all of them. Now, anyways, I'm off on a tangent again. But, damn, where was I? Oh yeah, using a therapist versus medication. That's it. with medication, I don't remember all the names, but like I was saying, short-term fix over the long term. Meaning you're going to be taking medication for a long period of time. Each dose is only a short-term fix that you have to redo every 8 hours, 24 hours, whatever the dosage instructions are. And when you have something like this counseling, psychotherapy, something that allows you to learn how to understand and process these things, that is more of a long-term fix, like a straight long-term fix. Because with all of the stuff that I've discussed with this woman, with all of the time that I've spent there, I have become a much better person than what I used to be. Am I sad? Or no, I won't say am I sad. Am I sorry that I didn't seek out some of this self-improvement before? A little bit. Only a little bit. Am I glad I did it? Yes. Because a lot of people think, well, you're going to see a counselor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, you're screwed up in that. Not really. It's proactive. It's a proactive thing. I could see myself back April, May, June, May going forward to, let's say, this January, December. I think that's a good time frame. I could see myself during that time just being totally just like at the beginning, I didn't know what to do. I was getting angry over the smallest things, getting depressed, being more secluded than what is normal for me, and I needed a way to address that. And what I did was I sought out the therapists in the area, and I recommend to anyone that if they're going to go see a therapist, go see one that has a sliding scale, especially if you're worried about cost. They will work with you when it comes to how much they'll charge you, how much you'll spend. Well, anyways, therapists are a good thing to have. Like any professional who works with really anything, if you go see someone who knows what they're doing, it's a very rewarding thing. It's like I've talked to this counselor who has helped me battle through some problems that I've had over the last several months. And if it hadn't been for her, I'd probably be a useless lump, even fatter than I was a year ago. And that would be saying something. Or probably on some drug or alcohol binge, losing the potential of seeing my children, that kind of thing. Or shit, I might even be dead. But it's those kind of things that you think of as like, if I hadn't sought out this kind of thing, yeah, I could have been in a lot worse condition than I am now. But I kind of lost where I was heading in that whole direction unless I did cover it. I don't know. In short, unless you absolutely need it, antidepressant, anti-anxiety medicine, not needed. Your perception of your world is what makes your stress, I guess is the way to say it. If I perceive everything in the negative, it's going to stress me out. While I don't perceive everything in the positive, I see a lot more things than I used to. Whereas I used to look at some of the crazier things, just the small things, and go nuts over them. It's not that big of a deal. And one thing I've had to remember is, as a parent, having the ability to look over the small things is a really good thing, because if I don't know, let's say if my daughter throws food on the floor, although she wouldn't, but if she did, I would be angry. It would suck, you know. She would be cleaning it up, but it's not a giant, massive problem. Now, Allison, I'm not telling you to do that. I'll probably beat your butt, but you know, instead of getting freaking out over the small things, don't. You know, it's not worth it. But I've heard so much, read, listened to, been told, whatever, so many personal things on how to improve oneself. It all gets all jumbled up, but the ultimate message is your perception of the world determines your direction. You choose your universe. While I don't immediately agree with the idea of having the ability to will the universe to do what you want it to do, perception is the very important thing. It's like any relationship. Communication is the key factor for any relationship. In life, your perception will guide you. And if you perceive everything as horrible, then everything will be horrible. It's simple as that. I woke up the other day and I noticed that there's some scratches on my car. You know, nothing too bad. But if I let it freak me out, I would have been just pissed off for days. I got huge lumps of bird poo on my car, and you know, I'm pretty vain about my car, so that kind of stuff is annoying, but it's just not letting it get to me is the big thing. Anyways, I think I'm done with my pep talk and whatever it is that I'm talking about. I'm going to just focus on driving. My throat's getting dry from all the talking, and I'm thirsty. Luckily, I just stopped in at 7-Eleven to get something to drink. I should have gotten gas. I should be able to make it there in time with this much gas. Maybe. Kind of rethinking the idea of not hitting the gas station when I left town. I don't know, I've gotten it lower than that before. Yeah, I've gotten it lower than that before. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can make it at least to the next exit. I think would be a good thing. Yeah. That's much better. Got a little Go Juice. And sadly, $20 to give me a half a tank of gas. I miss those days. You know, the days when $5 was enough. When $10 was enough, you know. I remember my first car I had, $25 would fill it up or something like that. Now, last week I spent like $55 just to fill this thing up. Oh, gas prices, they suck. I know I say this every time I leave here, but I always feel better when I leave. You know, because we were talking about some of the stuff that I'm working on, and I definitely feel better leaving after discussing it with her. And it's just gave me a better idea of kind of what to look forward to, what to be mindful of. Not to jump into this whole thing all willy-nilly, that's a funny word, but just not to jump into what I'm doing with just good intentions. Got to figure out things, got to work on a plan. Caution and compassion, I think, was what I said as a quick summary for how to go about this. caution and compassion are definitely the key to this whole thing. Definitely always feel better leaving here. And I told her, you know, I may not come here just because I'm feeling crazy or depressed or anything, but I found that I always seem to leave there feeling better, because even if I just use her as a soundboard, it's nice because I can talk about things, and you know, usually leave with a better understanding on how to I don't know, deal with things or live life. Who the hell knows? But yeah, so she's awesome. And you know what? For crap's sake, you're awesome too. Every one of you. Even the people who think I'm not talking about them, you're awesome also. This is the only time I'm going to say it, but you're awesome. And I mean it. Brought to you by NeuroBliss.